See, I think first and foremost we should integrate our society. My perspective about this is like we have to take examples from our neighboring state. As you said, that we have to have good relations with them. Bihu is a festival which is celebrated by all, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, or something like that. And by the fact that they have such a festival, they've been able to integrate the entire populace together. And in Meghalaya, we still don't have something like that. Every religion celebrates their own religious beliefs and so on and so forth, but there's no such thing that integrates us together. So when it comes, first and foremost, when we have to attack the safety of the non-tribals are concerned, I think we need to understand first that we need to integrate our society together. Because as of right now, it's extremely fragmented. Every religion and everything, they follow each and their own. And there's no peace even amongst our own, everybody has their own ways of celebrating things, and there's no such thing that is cohesive in nature. So I think arts and culture department that has existed in the state for so long needs to look at it in a very, very, very serious way, and there should be a state policy which forms this integration, and it should be a long-term kind of an approach which cannot be done overnight, but then over a period of 15, 20 to 25 years, this thing has to come together so that at least everybody feels as if we're Meghalayan at large, and not just that I'm this and I'm that. So that is more important for me, at least from where I see it, from a policy perspective.
Yeah, and I think in this, I think communities need to be involved, because it's not the government which can do this, it is people who
No,
will bring it together.
but the government should have a game plan.
Structure.
Yeah, should have a game plan and a policy around it.
Well, I don't want to hold you up, but I just want the others.
Can I be excused then?
Can the listen to the others, and then
Sure.
we can, because this is going to be like your parting shots.
Sure.
Because we won't have a wrap up comments from each of you. You've been standing on your feet for 1.5 hours or a bit more than that. So have I. So please.
As my friend has said, it is very important for us to be integrated. We are already politically integrated, but we have not, as a country, become emotionally integrated. We still see too much differences. These differences stem out from a long history of conflict, a long history of differences. But I think it is time now. The way forward is to make sure that everybody gets the quality education that they deserve. Only a few sections in society, in our state, get the kind of education that they deserve. This is what our party intends to bring by making a model school in every constituency, which will make sure that in these schools there will be a quality education for all, where everybody, every citizen and every household can reach out to these schools and be educated in these schools. That way their mind opens up. When their mind opens up, then we see beyond our differences to become emotionally integrated. This simply will get all these differences will just automatically go away. It will not happen overnight. It will happen over a period of time. But I truly believe this is the way forward.
Thank you. Ms. Vinod?
Yes. With regards to the safety and security of the non-tribal inhabitants of the state, I would say we have come a long way, and it is much better than what it was before. We are just going through a phase. Like my colleague Dr. Marbo had very rightly pointed out, the recent happening wherein certain non-tribal inhabitants of the state were beaten up during the course of a procession, and then the resultant effect of the breakdown in the tourism market. You see, the economics of the things will dictate that their security will be by far and large much better. However, I also concur with my colleague from the TMC that though we are politically integrated in certain sections of the state, the emotional integration which was there in the past had dissipated in course of time, and since we're going through this phase which is normal with any other state in the country, and I think by far the non-tribals in Meghalaya are better voice in terms of safety and security than other northeastern states per se. And for that matter, even us indigenous from this part of the country are not as safe as we used to be in the mainland of the country. So I think we are evolving. In course of time, things will develop because value education, which is a very important thing that is missing in many schools, though some schools have it in their curriculum, that has to be brought about in a very substantial manner so that values are imbibed into the coming generation, wherein dignity of labor is imbibed, then respect for each other, respect for fellow human beings, and cutting across the differences that he had rightly pointed out, and working towards more common things that help us evolve to be better humans.
Thank you.
We are a minuscule population as tribals. We have many NGOs who have come up for the contentious issue of the ILP. Even our party has passed a resolution with other coalition partners in the August House to implement ILP in Meghalaya. We have seen a statement coming from a BJP leader, just I think 1 day back, that elect them to power and they will give us the ILP and the 8th schedule for the language. So I request the center, this disparity among tribals and non-tribals occur because the youths of the state, we are a very minuscule population. We are not against genuine non-tribals. We are against the illegal infiltration from other countries. So to protect the non-tribals in the state, I feel that youth exchange programs should take place between different communities, especially in the school level, at the college level. And yes, I request the BJP not to just lure the people of Meghalaya by telling vote them to power and they'll give ILP. Means they are ready to give the ILP. Are they blackmailing us? We are not fools. We have requested them. We have requested them for an ILP. The whole assembly, all the 60 members in the August House have passed a resolution. So basically, I think once ILP is granted, there will be an end to all these violence in the state. Yes, in the past few years, there has not been any loss of lives. And we hope in the coming 5 years, the NPP government will give protection for the genuine non-tribals of the state of Meghalaya. And yes, since we are a minuscule tribal population, we have to respect the tribal identity that we are trying to preserve, our culture. And most importantly, I feel that yes, with all, there should be, from the sports department, there should be games that, between different communities, that, they should host games so that they mix with different communities and know each other. And yes, I feel these are the issues from the NPP.
Thank you. One thing, before we come to the professor, one thing I would like to say is that you're a majority in Meghalaya. Maybe a minuscule minority compared to the rest of India, but you're a majority in Meghalaya. Others are a minority. Others who are a minority here are a majority elsewhere. That's how demographics works. And so it's important. And there are political powers outside of here which have a different approach to these things. So it's important that this issue is recognized for what it is and accepted, and that there is a real effort to build good relations between communities. Because what happens here impacts other states. It's viral. It goes around the world. Just because the instrument we hold in our hands is not power, but it certainly gives a lot of information or disinformation out. So, Professor, you have the last word
On the same issue.
Well, I think if you want to add on the same issue, that's fine. And because we have to wrap up now.
Before we had a cordial relations between the tribals and the non-tribals in Meghalaya. But that cordial relation was disrupted because of the feeling of insecurity. And that feeling of insecurity has led to the, I would say, the untoward happenings in our state. And to remove this lack of cordial relation between the tribals and the non-tribals is very important for the government of Meghalaya and the government of India also to address the issue together. And here the main issue is the issue of ILP. And I see that if ILP is granted, say way back in the 1970s or 80s, all these kind of untoward incidents would have been avoided. And however, I would say that in order to prevent this kind of problem, we need to empower our youth economically, because economic deprivation would lead to problems, and this will have a spillover on to other issues also, and therefore they blame the other communities. And therefore, we in our state, we see that we have too many organizations, and this very fact that we have too many organizations tells us that something is wrong. And the wrong with that is the governance. And therefore, we need to improve governance, and our youth should concentrate on what they are supposed to do and not to form so many organizations. Thank you.
Thank you.